All right, awesome. So, welcome to Anime Book Club. We are following a whole bunch of shows this season. This week was, I feel like last week was a really exciting week, and this feels like a bridge to next week for a lot of shows.
Yeah. So I mean, a lot of shows are at really good points right now. So like, it's kind of expected, where you kind of have this moment where like everything is being set up. But I mean, the episodes were still pretty good for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anything was particularly bad this week. Although we'll get to the one that's my least favorite.
Yeah,
it's changed. It's changed this week.
It's changed.
It used to be a different one.
It's changed. All right.
It has. All right, Higarashi. The more I watch Higarashi, the more I like it. So I'm pretty excited to see what's coming next in this one. As a recap for those who haven't been following it, this is new Higarashi, so it's set after its sequel to the old Higarashi that came out. Last week we found out that Sadako is her friend. She is possibly also... She knows more about what's going on. She's possibly a looper too. She's kind of psychotic. She definitely murdered in one situation. So
like now we're like learning that Satoko might not have been crazy when she like killed Rika in the previous timeline, which is wild. Like we all just assume, oh, like she has the Hinamizawa syndrome, and so because like even in the original, so one of the core pieces of the story of original Higarashi is that Satoko got a really bad case of the Hinamizawa syndrome at a really young age, and she accidentally killed her parents because of it. She doesn't remember it, but her parents died pretty much because she had like a fit one day, right? And so we always knew that like she could be like freak out and like go crazy, but she never actually did. Like in the main story, she stayed pretty calm for the most part because she was always getting some type of treatment for it. And so she was never really on the suspect list until like now, which is ironic. And it's also ironic that like in this week's episode, it finally shows us what happened after like the original series where they won and everything was and the day was saved and everything. And we get to see that right after that, the village heads kind of like made like a proclamation saying, "Oh yeah, like all the issues that happened when the dam war." And all the struggle that the village went in when the government tried to like buy the land, like we're forgiving everybody that was involved because Satoko's parents were like enemy number one because her parents supported like the government buying up the land, and so Satoko has always been like mistreated by the village. And so it's funny that like right when like her family's crimes quote unquote gets forgiven, that's when Satoko actually does something that's worth like being hated for.
So. Yeah, well, there's a time jump in this one. I want to know what happened to that whole scene at the end of the last episode where she gets a box, and originally she's given her a gift of the box, and it was something bad, but then she changed it to something good, and then Sadako starts breaking down, and
so I guess this happened before you started tuning in, but like in one of the time, so they're a bunch of kids. They play pranks on each other all the time. They have like a club after school where they like intentionally set traps for each other. Like they might have like an eraser stuck in the door that fall on somebody's head. So Satoko is like obsessed with trapping people and like just pranking them all the time. And so Rika, which is her roommate, whatever, Rika, in order to get back at her one day, she put like a boxing glove on a spring in a box and punched Satoko in one of the loops. And it was a joke that put like paint on her face, and it was just a funny moment, pretty lighthearted, nothing really consequential. But Satoko apparently was a looper even back then in time loop, maybe like 3 or 4 time loops ago. And so she remembered that the box was a trap. And so Satoko is just so unprepared for like for this that she freaked out over a simple prank. Like it wasn't even like a deadly box. It was not like explosive in there or anything. It was just like a little boxing glove that just put paint on her face, right? And she freaked out. And so it's funny how Rika has been going through all these time loops and being stabbed to death, and she's just come back like, "Hey friends, how's it going? Everything's cool, right?" And she just plays it off the whole time. Satoko can't even handle a little prank.
Yeah, well, it seemed really like it was going to go somewhere. Like she was going to have some kind of mental breakdown because it was really that kind of twisted look, you know what I mean? And then I feel like it didn't go anywhere. And then we just ended the episode, and now we're in a new episode, and nothing's ever said of that again, and nobody has any questions about why she's freaking out.
Yeah, so this is no. Well, I mean, this is not this episode takes place before everything. This is like a flashback to like
Oh, the
time
first
loops
one? Okay,
before.
okay.
Yeah,
I don't
so
know.
this
It
flashes
was
back.
that wasn't. I thought this was a continuation of the perfect timeline
Oh
episode.
no. This
Okay, okay,
technically takes
okay.
place. Oh, I guess technically, if you're looking at like days of the year, this takes place after that, but it's in a different time loop
Right.
that takes
Yeah,
place
yeah. No,
before this
I
one.
get you. I get where it is now. It wasn't clear from the episode to me where we were in this. I thought this episode was further in the everything is perfect timeline that we were in after we found out that Sadako was a looper.
Oh no.
But yeah. Okay. Okay. Okay.
So now, right now, we're
I'm
finding
excited
out
to
what
see.
drove her to what she's doing right now.
I will say it
Yeah,
is difficult. Some things like this are difficult for me to follow without you giving background. But
yeah,
overall, I like the show regardless. So
yeah. So we get to see what drove Satoko to doing what she did. I don't imagine her reason is going to be very good. It seems that like so at the end of this week's episode, it showed that Satoko and Rika are trying to now leave the village in order to go to like this high society prep school. And so right now it ended with like Satoko seeming like she's going to like try to follow Rika to the new school. We'll have to see if they get accepted or what transpires with that.
yeah. I'm excited to see the next episode, although it's already aired and you've already seen it and you already know what's going to happen. But, it's okay. I just have to wait because I haven't seen it yet. But
Yeah.
Heaven's Design Team was so ridiculously cute this week that it was hard for me to deal with it.
So
So yeah, go ahead.
so a lot of a number of things happened. A number of things happened with this one because we had we had the previous episode ended with
The ancient chick, she went to hell. She's been sent
yeah
to hell, and it just
she got
zapped her, and you're like, "Oh
she got
my
sent to hell. I'm
god!"
like, oh no, what's going to happen? It's like is she like permanently over there? And then like they came out and they came back and it's like, oh no, it's just like a vacation retreat. Like it's an
Yeah,
amusement
and
park. I'm like, oh
she's just doing
okay.
contract work for like a theme park in hell, and
I'm like,
and all
wait,
this.
what? Really?
Yeah, there was like
The weird thing.
they just they were
Well, yeah,
describing like when the person from hell comes in, they have a new client. They have a new client that's so much better than God. And it's the
yeah,
person from hell. And they're like, oh, yeah, we're making this theme park. So we need all of these like fanciful creatures. And I have all of these specifications that are very specific for you and nothing vague at all. And they all just celebrate that it's like the best client they could ever have.
yeah. Like it was so weird because it's like, why are the angels in charge of building up hell? Like it makes no sense, but whatever. We're just gonna
Well,
roll with
okay,
it.
so it makes no sense in a sense, but like biblically the people in hell are angels. They're fallen angels. So
Yeah, I
like
suppose that
seems like
does.
they'd have
I
their own
suppose.
design team because they're controlling their own space. But whatever. If they don't have an in-house designer, they can outsource. It's cool. And also, the big guy who loves fluffy, cute animals made, of course, one of the best
Yeah.
fluffy, cute animals that exists in the whole world, and that's a sea otter. Sea
So I
otters
love
and
how much
river otters
we
are
learned
wonderful.
about the otters in this episode.
Oh yeah, did you not know they had pockets? They have
I
pockets,
didn't
and they
know.
get
I didn't know they had pockets. I did not know they carry around a rock just to
they get
break
their favorite
shells.
rock. They get one rock that is their favorite rock, and they find it, and then they use it to crack open shells and stuff, so that they can eat the good stuff inside.
Oh my
Otters
god!
are delightful. Touch one of these.
Otters legitimately are a smart animal. If that's the case. Like I did not know that. Like you think, oh, they're just cute, but no, they're cute and smart.
They are. They are really smart. So like, okay, so we work with the Georgia Aquarium for like partnership programs, and we do like a night at the aquarium, and they have like conservation programs where like you pay a fee and you go and you get backstage and you learn about the animals, and the fee goes to like conservation projects for these animals and things like that. And I did one with otters, and specifically with the sea otters, and they train like because the ones that are in the aquarium are like they're disabled in some way, or they've like lost a foot, or they can't be released out into the wild because of their situation. So they train them to present different parts of their body to help them with the veterinary services. So they've got trained sea otters there, okay? Where they're like, oh, show me your eye, and they'll come up and do that, and come to the right spot, because they train them so that when they get veterinary services, they'll roll over so we can see your belly and things like that. And I got to feel one, and they're super cute, and they're super fluffy, and it's just the best. And in addition to that, I really love otters. I'm sorry, I'm going to go into this otter thing, and it's going to be a minute. So this is a sea otter, and sea otters are kind of big, but there's also river otters. And in Japan, like in 2019, when I was there for a trip, I went to an otter cafe, and I got to hold and play with river otters, and it was the cutest. And they dig in your pockets and stuff, and oh man, they were so cute. You feed them treats, and yeah, otters are great. I've never
actually I've never actually seen an otter up close in person. I don't think. I mean, I've been to a Georgia Aquarium, so I guess I must have seen them at one point, but I don't actually remember the experience. So I had to go back to a Georgia Aquarium to check out the otters.
I'm going to take you with me, and we should go, and we should see the otters because they're great. Okay.
I think the Georgia Aquarium is still open even during the pandemic. I think so. So I think they have safety measures in place that way you can go there and still enjoy it. So you even have an otter plushie?
I have a Rascal the Raccoon otter plushie. So this is Rascal the Raccoon. He's I could go into a whole rant about Rascal. We'll save that for a different day.
Yes, but I know about your Rascal collection.
A little rat. He's a little otter. I have one of him with a shark somewhere too. I love him. Mom ran into the other room to get my Rascal from my Rascal shelf. I have an unhealthy obsession with Rascal. But yeah, otters are definitely top 5 favorite animals for me. So this was a great episode. They do have little pockets. They do have preferred rocks and stuff. I like that this show is a little bit different every episode. I definitely thought we were going to run out of steam on it because it feels like a one joke kind of show, but I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
Code Black.
Yeah, cells at work, more despair.
This show just keeps going down the path of you really need to take better care of your body so you don't wind up like this person every single.
So I was watching this episode, and I just kept thinking, this feels like a teen drama episode about not doing drugs. And
it's a 90s PSA. It's just
it's going, how you doing, my friend? How you doing, friend? Oh, don't talk to me. I'm going through something right now. Don't talk to me. You're not my friend. I'm going to do this substance. In order to get my feelings back. And it's so cliche, 90s drama.
It is. This is like an after school special, okay? This episode in particular was very much like an after school special, okay? They're under a bunch of stress, and they're having a lot of trouble, and so the bad kids take blonde guy to the small intestine for energy drinks, where he can directly absorb the energy drinks, but he's unprepared for the load that comes after his high has worn off.
Oh my God, you sound so much like the narrator that is summarizing the whole previous episode.
and he almost died.
Joey went down the wrong path and started taking these substances.
I like how they have made a bigger deal out of caffeine from energy drinks than they did about smoking and getting gonorrhea in other episodes.
They did. Oh my God.
Serious episode, and I'm like, I think it's probably a little worse than drinking energy drinks when you get gonorrhea. Okay.
Yeah. And I love how dramatic the music that comes in when such normal things are happening. Oh, he has a nosebleed, and all of a sudden, You Say Run starts playing. It's like, and I'm like, what do you mean? It's a nosebleed. Just wait it out. It's okay.
They really want you to care about these cells. The one that always sticks with me is the little sperm cells and how they're so happy. And then they just they're going to their death, aren't they? It's really morose.
This show is fun.
It was very much a morality tale, more so this week than even before, and it already was a morality tale before. So, I mean, what other horrible things are going to happen to this person? We will just have to wait and see. I don't know.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure that's just the thing of the show. Like there's gonna be no hope for this man.
Agreed. Speaking of no hope, let me talk to you about quintuplet.
Oh my god.
I hate quintuplet.
How dare you? How dare you?
Number one crown, worst show we're watching since we dropped the other ones that were kind of boring, okay? This is my number one worst show that we're watching.
Okay,
this show is so bad.
In this show's defense, season 1 wasn't actually very harem-y, right? So season 1 only like Miku liked him. Was Miku and Ichika. Miku and Ichika was the only ones that truly liked him. Like Yotsuba was like doing her own thing. Nino was just being the brat. And
what do you expect?
Ichiki is like main character girl. So she was gonna eventually fall in love with him. But like she wasn't even like really like, oh, I love him. I'm gonna like try to like get him to fall in love. No, that wasn't even present really that much in season 1. But season 2 feels like they're actually like okay, let's really turn this into a cliche harem. So it's like the setup wasn't this bad.
Okay, so it's awful. All right, I don't care if it's a harem show, whatever. But first of all, they're all related. Let's start there. I hate that. And they're now all very cliche, like one episode I'm gonna fall in love with him type of thing. And I hate the show. It's just, ugh.
I was most surprised about Yotsuba, because Yotsuba wasn't even like the girl. Yotsuba was just like, oh yeah, I'm just here with my sisters and doing sports stuff. Like Yotsuba had no romantic interest in him at all. But now Yotsuba is embarrassed every time, like, and did she kiss him or whatever? Oh yeah, she kissed him on the cheek, and like that makes the least amount of sense from Yotsuba. So it feels like the writing in the manga probably shifted at this point, and so the anime is just going along with it. But it does feel like the writing isn't quite as good as I remember in season 1.
Well, like this scene, even this scene that you've chosen here with Ichika, right?
Yeah.
Like this whole like Ichika from everything this season. Now, granted, I didn't watch season 1, but from everything this season, Ichika, like other than being overworked, has everything going for her. Like she seems like the most together of all of them, And this whole I'm so tired, I'm gonna be vulnerable and lay on your shoulder already feels out of character for this character, like incredibly out of character.
Yeah,
and it just it feels just ew. And now we're getting a bunch of like the harem tropes, and now my dad doesn't approve, so now we're gonna have that whole Romeo and Juliet type thing going on, and I don't know why their dad's such a jerk either. I mean, but
I don't know. I thought the show was setting him up to not be a jerk. Like it was setting him up to be like the guy in the background that's not necessarily there, but still like could do something.
I meant that all of the sisters are related, not that they're related to him. I'm saying that 5 sisters being in love with the same guy is creepy, okay? It's super creepy. I'm not talking about them being related to him. I'm talking about them being related to each other and then falling all over themselves for this guy. And it's just, this is tropey garbage, all right? The show
I don't think it's garbage, but it is relying a lot more on tropes now. But in this episode, we got to see that Ichika is like really working hard in order to like pay the bills, because like now they're in their own apartment. And she didn't realize that rent and food and electricity actually cost a lot of money. But okay, so now Ichika is like learning maybe this wasn't the best choice after all. And
maybe
and then after that,
I mean, like, Ichika's the only person carrying the weight. Like, dude here in the show clearly has a lot of jobs because he's, like, poor and he's desperate and all this. And that's, like, his whole thing. Like, why don't the other ones get jobs? Like, you can get a arubaito or whatever. I mean, I've seen Japanese shows a bunch. Like,
yeah, like, they could. I mean, they even, like, talked about it a little bit in this one, but it seems like none of them are very useful at anything. They said Nino wants to be at, like, a bakery or something. So
Like,
hopefully, so
seriously,
maybe they
Nino
will.
could go work at a bakery and like get further in her like dream, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
He works at a
yeah.
bakery. She could work at his bakery, like, or get a reference to another. Like,
Yeah, there's no reason why Ichika has to do it alone. I think they just like were relying on that because they just assumed that she was making more money than they thought she was like a movie star, but she's like an up and coming. Like she's popular, but it's like she's not like racking in millions of dollars, you know. So
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I
and
don't know
then
which one of the question from the chat. Which one of the 5 is most likely to work in a host club?
It would be Ichiki, I think the fifth girl, the main girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think her because Nino cannot be Nino can't do customer service.
No,
Miku probably would trip over herself.
Nina
Yotsuba is
would work at a maid
hopeless.
cafe, and Nina would be the sadistic one at the maid cafe. That's what
She would. Oh my god! That I mean, maybe that's what she'll do. She'll be the rude one.
Yeah, she would be the rude one. She'd be the sadistic one at the maid cafe. That's exactly right.
But this episode ended. Oh, you can go. I was gonna say this episode ended with we keep jumping over each other. Let me do it. This episode ended with the dad finally being like, hey, like here's your ultimatum. Like they absolutely need to pass the next exam, or we're transferring schools. And I was and from the perspective of the characters and the plot, he seemed like the bad guy. But when you really stop and think about it, he's not wrong. If his kids can't get past, they're literally getting 20s and 30s on their tests. Like, if he just sits back and do nothing, he would legitimately be a bad parent. So, like, the fact that he gave them this much time, he's not actually wrong.
Well, I also think it's really arbitrary. So, like, you're in Japan, and their dad is rich and, like, powerful, and then you have this whole scene in a Starbucks where you're shouting at him. Like, I can't tell you how much that would not fly in actual Japan, okay? Yeah. Like, holy crap, how embarrassing. No, Brother White Mage made a point. He would be a better parent if he was there, and that is actually...
that is true.
Yeah.
I don't know why he's not there. I mean, he's probably not there just to give all the characters freedom to, like, do the plot, you know, like conveniently not there, you know, but they haven't really given him a reason not right now.
Yeah.
They haven't even said like, oh, he's like our overworking dad that's just like always have work to do and he's never it seems like they're not there by choice. So I don't even know.
Yeah, I don't know. But this show continues to be the most frustrating show of the season for me. I do not look forward to it. It is pretty. I'll give them that. The art design is really good. And I just feel like people are started watching the show for that reason because the show is hot garbage. I'm gonna be real with you, Erik. Okay.
Wow, I wouldn't go that far. But it probably is the weakest of the weakest show that we're watching right now. Yeah, unfortunately, it probably is one of the weakest. Unfortunately, that was hard for me to say.
Yeah, there's good stuff this season. I mean, it just is. But
yeah.
Speaking of good stuff. So the episode, was this the church episode or was this the? Did we do?
Yeah, this was the church girl that's like really like that's really uptight and wants to kill things.
But is this the episode where she ate the catfish? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Catfish. Yeah. I remember something. I don't remember exactly what happened, but I remember that.
Yeah, she finally finds something that tastes delicious and doesn't taste like garbage in the because she gets run back into the middle stratum area and it's like on fire and it's lava and there's like a lava duck thing and like duck eel thing, I don't know, but she calls it a seahorse, but I think it looks like a duck, which is kind of weird, but. She tries to fight that, but then like she can't get to it because it's in lava. So then later she comes back and there's these catfish things that come out of the lava onto the land with like legs, and she kills 2 of them. No, she kills one of them and one runs off, and then she eats it. And I love this. That's it. That's the image that I use. Have you ever cried over food before? Because this is when she has taken a bite, and it's so good that she just starts crying. She starts crying right there, and eats this catfish, and it's delicious.
She was like, dang, I let the other one go. I should have killed it to have more food. She eats a lot. Like she ate that.
She
That
does.
fish was large. That fish was like at least like 10 times her size, and she ate it to the bone.
She
So
did. It was good though. I feel you. I feel you, Spider. I feel you. I've never related to the spider more than I did in this scene. It's like it's so good.
I mean,
Oh
you
yeah.
gotta understand though. Like the food she's been eating so far has been terrible. Like she's just been eating it just because she has to survive. So it's like I think one of the things she said tastes like actual tires. So it's like this is the only real food she's eaten so far. She's living
Oh,
off
this is
freaking
so good.
poisonous lizards.
On the other side, you definitely have like I really like this show, and I am hesitant to say anything bad about it because I actually really do like this show. But church girl was just too on the nose. That whole scene was way. You
Yeah.
know someone who has the taboo trait, you have to kill them. Did I say kill? I meant kill. And it's like, come on. Like, did we need that? Did we really need all of that? Did that need to be slammed in our face?
They want you to know very quickly and very assuredly that like she's like not okay.
Yeah.
But we did. I mean, they did use that moment in order to clear up a few things that we weren't sure of before, because we weren't sure of if the students when they died they took over for someone else's life. It seems they really got reincarnated from a baby and lived their new life with their memories from their old life intact.
Yes.
Which is interesting because, from the best of our knowledge, Spider has only been around for like a couple days, maybe a week. I don't know.
Spider was born at a different time. Yeah, so that they all exist in the same time, but they weren't born or incarnated into this world at the same time.
And that also makes sense. That also explains why the teacher looks younger, but I think she's older. So like, because she's an elf, so they all going to be alive at a certain point, but they weren't born at the same time. So that's an interesting thing.
Yeah, no, and even the little monster creature feels like it was born after the human characters were.
Yeah.
But then you think about it that way. So I just got finished with Ascendancy of a Bookworm, which also was a very good isekai. It just makes me sad because in Ascendancy of a Bookworm, she's like 6 years old and she already is rich, controls, like she has like the abilities of nobles through the church, and she has all of these benefits because she still has her memories from when she was, it's like a medieval thing, and she teaches people how to make like paper and hairpins and sells them at the Merchants Guild and makes a ton of money and stuff. What are these people doing? Why are they so bad at this if they still had their adult memories that they're not rich and they don't run the world and you guys are behind.
I mean, just because you have your memories doesn't like they're teenagers having the memories don't necessarily.
No, in Bookworm, she would just put all of these people to shame, okay? Like, all of them to shame. And she's not even doing that heavy of stuff. Like, she teaches them how to cook better. Like, by not throwing out the broth they boil vegetables in and making vegetable stock. She teaches them how to make vegetable stock, And then, like, she teaches them how to make cakes. They didn't know how to make cakes and stuff, but they had flour and eggs and things. And it's like, yeah, I'm just saying.
That reminds me a little bit of Tanya, where in Saga Tanya, even though he gets reincarnated as like as a little girl, by the time he's like 10 years old, he's like teaching them these like revolutionary military tactics that they've never seen before because he knows history about war. And he says, yeah, this is how this army died. Here's how we're going to counter that. And it's like, oh, wow.
Yeah, no, this is like a 5-year-old and she makes like a basket and she makes like a Bed Bath and Beyond quality wicker basket, because her mom and her went to a class when she was like, a teenager in the other world. And she winds up and this is so much better than everybody else's. And then the merchant guy gets suspicious and then he's like, can you make a lot of these? And then they sell it. Yeah, no. I really liked the Bookworm show. And I feel like these people are sleeping on the job, okay? Yeah. You're just sleeping on the job.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we get some more backstory in this time, I guess. And then main dude's in the human world's brother, who's like a famous fighter or whatever, has now entered the dungeon.
That's gonna be interesting because if Julius had to fight her, like, what if she kills Julius? Like, that's a big problem. Julius is like the world's MVP. Like, if she kills him, there's no real going back from that. Like,
Yep.
she'll be branded as like a monster, even if
Well,
the
she already has
understanding
like
is cleared up.
she has the demon lord attribute, and I just need her to rule like the underworld here. That would be the best. Okay.
So what's going to happen is that the church is going to end up being the bad guys. She's going to have the demon lord attribute, and she's going to turn all the monsters up against the church, and then the humans are going to have to pick which side they're going to join. That's the plot. I'm calling it right now.
I look forward to it. I'm ready. I'm ready for it. I just want to know how fast we're gonna go, because I feel like once we're out of this like dungeony area, it's gonna really progress rapidly, and I'm not sure how much they've slotted for this show. So we'll see.
This is so even Slime spent a lot of time in the dungeon in the beginning, but this show spends even longer. Like, we're on episode like 5 now, and it's like
she's only in like the middle stratum.
Yeah, like, is this a whole season going to be in here?
Yeah. Oh, speaking of boring shows, wait. Okay. I feel like this is the point where I realized this episode was where I realized whoever's making this show doesn't actually care about making a new show. They're like, people really liked Sashomaru. So what are we going to do? How can we bring more Sashomaru into a show and milk it for at least 26 episodes?
It does feel like it does feel like the writers of Yashahime are like just playing it by ear and just like, what are we gonna do tomorrow night, brain? it's like there's no real direction. Everything's kind of random. So one day we'll have plot for 2 episodes in a row just out of nowhere, and then we'll go back to Demon of the Week.
This was kind of random plot too. It's like randomly Sashomaru shows up and he's fighting Kirinmaru, and finally we have some kind of big bad, but who knows what Sashomaru's motivations are anymore? And
can you imagine how sweet of a job it is to be Sashomaru's voice actor, right? Right, he literally just like can do the whole season of lines in one take. They were like, okay, here's episode 1 lines, say go. Okay, go. All right, here's episode 2, say yes. All right, halfway done.
Yep.
Like, can you imagine having to drive to the studio? Can you imagine having to drive to the studio just to say 3 words? Like, you take your whole hour commute, and like, we just have 3 words for you, and you can leave.
Yep. Yeah, he's got a sweet job. I feel like you mentioned in our notes that their powers don't make sense. They don't make sense. Okay, so you've got the rainbow pearls, which my favorite hilarious part of this entire show is that you're watching the show for like 15 episodes and you're like, oh, they have these rainbow pearls and clearly they're, magical and maybe they got them. No, Sashomaru was just being chased by the snake chick and chopped her arms off and then just stole her pearls. And it's like my favorite part of the show because it's so arbitrary. She's just there and chops them off.
It's so weird too, right? So for pearls that are supposed to be like powerful and like supposed to have like a big influence on like the world power and who rules everything, like they don't really give you much of a power boost. Like, these people are like, oh, I can shoot fire now because I have the pearl. That's it. I'm just gonna lose the pearl that fast because it really wasn't even. It's almost a burden. It's almost more trouble than it's worth. Like, so it's like,
no, I agree. And those are like random to begin with. But then, and you're right to point out, all of this stuff that took several seasons worth of Inuyasha for the original characters to learn. These people just like, no, they just know it.
So this is the first season. This is the first episode where we got to see Moroha use Iron Reaver Soul Stealer, which is Inuyasha's like, it's like his Kamehameha. Like, it's his default attack, and it's like, why does she know this attack? Inuyasha got sent away before. Yeah, like he's literally. This is not like this is even more like signature to Inuyasha than the Kamehameha, because at least other characters knew this technique. But like with this move, like that's just Inuyasha's thing, because being a half demon, he didn't have a lot of options. He literally had to use his own blood to fight. Who in the world would teach her that? No one. Absolutely no one. Right? Yeah. And then like the other thing was there was a whole episode where Inuyasha had to learn how to see the rifts between demon energies. Like demons have their own like kind of like wavelength thing, and when two of them collide, it creates like a line that Inuyasha can cut through with his Tetsaiga sword, right? And so he had to go through all this in order to learn how to not only see it, but then how to use that power and to actually fight with it. But they're like,
Right.
oh, the two sisters like, oh, our lineage has this ability to just do it. Let's just close our eyes and do it. I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean?
Yeah. Well, and okay, so and even the ones that are established in this world, right? So like Beniyasha, right? Beniyasha, like the power that Moroha has, that's new. That's from this one, right?
Yeah.
And she's got the rouge, and you have a whole episode that I hated, where her teacher, who was inconsequential for everything, is like, oh no, every time she uses Beniyasha, it takes over more of her soul. And you got that episode. And then you've got the episode in the past where she used Beniyasha, and she used it for a period of time. Both of those rules feel like they were thrown out of the window, and we're not coming back to them. Because now she used Beniyasha and almost collapsed instantly, first of all. And second of all, there's literally no other hint or inclination that it's taking her over. Like, it's just arbitrary. Like, it feels super duper arbitrary.
Like, it's so weird because, like, that's supposed to be her trump card, right? And it's supposed to be like the thing that she knows that she can use for a short period of time to get like an attack increase. That way she can like defeat the enemy as fast as possible. And so it almost feels like she got weaker when she used it. Like she used Iron Reaver Soul Stealer, and that was Inuyasha's weakest attack. That was his base attack, right? That was his weakest attack, and she used that and collapsed. So it makes no sense at all that would be the thing that like drained all her energy, because it's weaker than all the other stuff she's been using. And then it only lasted 10 seconds. Like, it lasted longer in episode 2, and she did more fighting. So it's like,
it's like arbitrary, and there's nothing to lead you to believe this would be worse, and that's. Yeah. I'm not going to call this show the worst because I hate the quintuplets show. All right. I'm not even going to go that far. I really hate the quintuplets show. But this show is not something I would follow if we were not following it for the show. You know, like this is something I definitely would have given up on. And it gets a little bit more frustrating by the day. But who knows? I mean, are they planning on this for a lot of episodes? Are we looking at 52? I don't think they're going to get 52 out of this. I just don't think there's going to be that much interest in this show, personally.
Yeah. But I don't know, because it doesn't even feel like the girls are like applying lessons, because it feels like this episode literally nobody knew how to fight. They were fighting the main villain guy, and like he was just running circles around them. It literally does feel like everybody just got weaker this episode, because they were just like they weren't even like, it felt like kendo practice, you know, like there was no, these are demons. There's supposed to be like some special move or something you can do in these circumstances, but he just like, nope, you're done. Nope, you're done.
Brother Nightmare makes the point that it took a long time for the original crew to apply lessons, but the original one, it may have been slow, but they weren't fighting big bads. They weren't going back and forth between I'm very powerful and then I have no power, and in an arbitrary way, quite so much. They were hunting shards of jewels. They were fighting different people, but they weren't, killing Naraku in every episode kind of thing.
And Kagome literally was getting better at everything, every single episode. Like, Kagome was like, oh, she can't aim her bow and arrow in like episode 1. Like, she literally, by episode 2 or 3, she was hitting something, right? You know what I mean? Like, she was getting better every single episode. She was improving her spirit power. Inuyasha was also learning new techniques. These girls just are not cut out for fighting, and it feels kind of like.
Well, it feels like they didn't set this up really well. You start out with Toa. Toa has no experience in this world whatsoever, but then immediately can channel her demon energy. Like, this was like in the first couple of episodes. Learns how to channel her demon energy into the sword right when they get back to the feudal time, right? And then learns to absorb demon energy, and then has no other improvement. And she's just kind of terrible, and then gets worse in this episode than she has been.
Yeah. So
show's
hopefully they get their act together. I don't know, but the writers are just sleeping right now.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to the best show this season. The very best show this season. Okay.
Probably. I'm still out for the what gets the title, but Wonder Egg is a strong contender right now.
Wonder Egg is my number one. My number one.
Okay, let me just start off by saying I love Miru more and more every single second. That is my girl right there. Like, she is
You can
like the
have
one.
Momoe, I'm team Momoe until I'm dead, okay? Like,
Oh my
I believe
god.
that I used the meme last week. I've only met Momoe for a second, and already I would murder all of you and then myself if
Oh
anything
my
bad
god!
happened to
But
her. Okay?
Niru, she has legitimate weapon. She has like
She does.
like the main character girl has like a ballpark pen that she's just like, oh, here's my Keyblade
She's got
pen.
the one with all the clicky. It's the one that has all the different colors
like
on it.
and Niru's like, no, I have a gun. I'm good.
She's the Homura. You like her because she's the Homura of this
She
series.
is Homura.
Okay?
She's oh my god, she's Homura in every way, and I love it.
You have a type.
There's a point where she was like trying to be like all serious, but then what's the idol girl, I forgot her name. Idol girl was trying to tickle her and she finally caved in and started laughing, and literally the next scene she was like, don't touch me.
Yeah. I
love her.
It's pretty great. I appreciated this episode because you don't have a lot of fighting in this episode. This isn't very like, Monster of the Weeky of an episode. You find out that you've been going through the show and everybody is trying to rescue somebody that is close to them or that means something to them who is has committed suicide. But instead of just being like your kind of typical shonen style, I've got a goal and I'm going to charge head forward to it and I have really pure intentions, it gets murkier in this episode. And I really appreciate that from a narrative storytelling perspective, because it's like all of a sudden you find out that not only are these people trying to rescue their friend, but they may not have liked them, they may not have loved them to the degree you thought. They have really complicated emotions about what's going on. You find out about Nehru's sister, she's trying to rescue, who she claims she doesn't even like, and who stabbed her viciously in the back and put her in a coma.
What in the world did she get stabbed with? Did like her sister like stab her with a claymore? Like, that was a big scar.
It's all the way down her back, and what are you doing?
That was not like a box cutter. That was a massive scar. So it's like, why are you trying to get this person back? What are you doing?
Oh my god, it's so weird, and it definitely it's going to end badly. It's absolutely going to end badly in some way, and I know that that's coming. And I just don't think any of these people have any hope. And I'm actually really curious what's going to happen with Weird now that we know that Weird teacher who is sleeping with the blue hair girl's friend is Momoe's uncle. And now they're kind of all related to this weird teacher guy who was hitting it with a teenager. And come on, dude.
Okay, so I'm starting to feel like this is already too many coincidences, right? So I feel like something's up with the teacher. I feel like think about the pull of Black Rock Shooter, where in Black Rock Shooter, it got revealed later on that the guidance counselor that was offering everybody advice was intentionally giving them bad advice in order to push them over the edge. That way they can then become the Black Rock Shooter type characters, right? I think he has that role.
I think something's happening with the teacher too. And I don't know where we're going with this, but I feel like something's happening with that teacher guy. I feel like they may all be connected to somebody, and the more we go down the road, we're going to find out he has might know more of the victims than we initially thought. So I agree. I don't know. I don't know where we're going with this. I really love this show. It is the highlight of my week to watch. It is higher than Titan for me right now, definitely.
That is
Titan
pretty
was the
high.
only thing in contention, but yeah. We're gonna bowl tonight. This is definitely a reference to Grease 2, and I hope you all on the stream appreciate that. Yeah, there's a whole song about we're gonna bowl tonight. We're gonna score tonight.
I'm not sure I actually watched Grease 2. I don't think I've actually watched Grease 2.
This is an unpopular opinion, but Grease 2 is better than Grease 1.
That's quite an opinion.
I hate Grease 1, okay? I actively hate Grease 1. It's a terrible movie. Grease 2 has surprisingly catchy songs, and it's still a garbage movie. Don't get me wrong; it's definitely B movie level, but it's significantly better than Grease 1. But yeah, they
I have
have
to
a whole
rewatch it that way. I can confirm whether your opinions are valid. It's been too long.
okay, that's fair. But yeah, they have a whole scene where they go bowling, and there's like a whole big number about we're gonna score tonight, and it's a double entendre about getting laid and bowling, and it's a big bowling montage. So I definitely had to like they're bowling in this episode, and how often do people bowl in anime? I feel like that's pretty rare.
Yeah, not often. One thing that's interesting though, why is there a arcade underneath the dream meeting
Oh,
place? Like,
that makes sense because they're going to get gachas. Like in Japan,
oh,
like
you're right.
yeah,
You're
they're going
right.
to
That
get
does make sense.
they're gachapons, you know. So
I almost forgot that aspect of the anime.
yeah, like basically when you go to Japan, there's a whole bunch of buildings. Like I know this because we play a lot of UFO catchers when we go to Japan because I have no self control. Like maybe like the basement level and then the first 2 floors are like arcade stuff, and there'll be like arcade games and UFO catchers and maybe gachapon machines and stuff like that. The gachas are usually on the bottom floor, and then you start going up the floors, and it's like batting cages on 4, and then like bowling on 5 and 6 or something like that. And some of that stuff's open 24 hours too, which is kind of cool. But like, this is very common to see bowling above like an arcade, like on a multi-level building. So that's
Going back into
surprising.
the gotcha aspect of the show, though, I wonder if like we're actually going to see like a real gotcha in here. You know, like so far they all been getting like just these white eggs that like it doesn't seem like there's any like. Of course, each egg is a different girl that would have a different monster in it or whatever, right? But for the
What do
most
you
part, it's all been pretty much equal, right? What if there's gonna be like a golden egg that's gonna have like the ultimate bad guy in it
Oh
or something?
yeah, that could be cool.
So
That could be cool. I like that. But in gachapons, I mean, they're all just little clear balls. They don't look any different, you know. Like when
yeah,
you're getting it out of the machine, they don't look any different.
yeah.
So, or a rainbow egg. That makes sense. So yeah, like that's yeah. Brother White Mage is like maybe a rainbow egg. Right?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
need some 5 stars over here.
we do. We need to pull some 5 stars. Join us tomorrow night for Genshin Impact at 7.
See, you picked up on my tie-in.
Oh, Horimiya. Oh, I don't even know where we're going with this show because we're just progressing so fast that like it's very non-typical romance show. And I like that we're progressing fast because I like the characters and I think they're super cute.
Okay, we aren't
Right
progressing
now,
as fast as our bonus show this week because when I watched that episode, I was like, wait a minute, hold on, this is way too fast. So at least it's not that. But
yeah,
Horimiya is really good.
Monster is kind of erratic. It's a little bit different, but yeah, no. Freaking love Horimiya so much. How did Hori even grow up normally? Because both of her parents are fairly incompetent, and I don't understand. Like, no wonder she's the one raising her brother. Because
so I don't. So did they absolutely say that he is her biological father, not stepfather? Because the way she interacts with him.
I think he's her deadbeat dad. I think he just blows in and out like the wind. That makes sense, you know? Like that makes sense
I
for
suppose.
like she doesn't like him. That's why she calls him by his name. Because she doesn't like him. She's not, you know, Tosan or whatever. He's like his name.
Yeah,
like, and I get it.
He was
I've met him for one episode and I already don't like him, so I understand, you know?
Yeah, I mean, he helped progress the plot for us because he was like, "Hey, is that your boyfriend?" Yeah, he is.
He did. And, like, he's so obnoxious though, and he just shows. And I thought something was gonna happen with her mom because her mom like freaked out when he came, and she's like, "Oh."
Yeah, I thought it was like this was a problem of him being here, but no, it's like we just don't got bowls. Is that a Japanese thing where you literally only have the bare minimum number of bowls and utensils? Like,
I think it is. There's a lot of problems in Japan. Like, so there's a concept in Japan called omiyage, which is an obligation gift. Well, it's just a gift, really. Gimu is more of an obligation gift, but omiyage is like if I go on a vacation, I'll buy some gifts to bring back to my family. But it's really, really structured, right? So if I've like when I go to Japan and meet with like business contacts, we bring fancy decorated items from the United States. They're better when they're consumable. They're better when they're pretty, like pretty packaging or whatever, and they're better when they're local because you're bringing something like from your home to give to them as a gift as part of this whole process of meeting someone or meeting someone for the second time usually is what it is. But one of the reasons that it's really preferred and a very common omiyage are senbei crackers, which are like cookies or crackers that are, I'm going to be real, they don't taste very good. I don't think senbei tastes very good at all. But they're in really pretty, like, decorated packages. And, like, you'll see them all over Disney Japan, like Disney Tokyo. Because people go there, they have to get an omiyage. It's expected to get a gift for their family to bring back. But they don't have a lot of room in Japan. Like, if you're living in Tokyo, you have, like, no space. So they get consumable gifts. So you can eat it and throw it out, and you don't have to keep an item. So this is kind of in the same vein, I think, that, like, people just don't have as stuff, physical stuff, especially cooking stuff, because it's a culture that is so based on the lack of space and the abundance of restaurants. There are, like, 5 times as many, like, small restaurants in Japan everywhere than you would see, like, in the States. And they're all very, very small, but it's because people don't have big kitchens and they can't cook at home easily, regularly. So
yeah, that makes sense.
That they don't have a lot of stuff, you know.
Yeah, because I was thinking, because there's like tons of anime where like that's like a plot point where it's like, oh, we only have 4 bowls, or this is Dad's bowl, like, you know, like like I've seen many anime where like every character literally has the bowl that they use to eat everything from.
So. Yeah, and I think it is a Japanese thing because everything is limited space. When you're living in a big city, you don't have space, you don't have room, and that's why that's the thing, you know. Think if you're like a salary man in Japan and you have to stay at work late and then you have to go out with your boss after work for drinks or whatever, like there's tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of restaurants. And now I'm making myself hungry talking about Japanese restaurants.
See, normally when we do this is right before your joy of eating segment.
I know, that's what they're saying. That's what they're saying on the other side. They're like, and you don't have your food segment today, and I don't. You're right. You're right. I don't need a donut. I'm not eating the rest of today. I'm fasting the rest of the evening. It's good.
They're going to make you eat a donut on stream.
I'm not going to eat a donut because I'm not going to eat a donut tonight. But I agree with your point that I like Sakura. I like that we're introducing new characters because I feel like you have to. This is progressing really, really fast, and you need to have some other focus.
I like Sakura. I support her ship with purple-haired guy.
Yep. I
don't trust Remy one bit. Remy is toxic. She's manipulative. Like I don't trust her. I think she's gonna like find out who Sakura likes, and I think she's gonna blow it, and it's gonna be a big issue, and it's all gonna be her fault. And everything about Remy is just really suspect because, like, if she's really dating the student council president, they literally haven't even talked to each other yet. Like, it's so weird.
Nope. Yep.
So it's like, I don't trust her. I don't trust
the student council resident guy. Like, he's weird too. Like, not the same kind of weird, but very weird.
He's weird, but I accept him because turns out he was the victim. Like, I mean, I accept him, but like I acknowledge that he's not really great either. But
I think he's kind of weird. I don't know, but I still love the show. This is definitely high on my list. It feels nice to watch this show. Like I like it. I like it.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Okay. Are you sure? Are you sure you didn't speak too soon about your favorite show of that being Wonder Egg?
This show is getting stupider by the episode, and I love
come
it.
on, it's not stupider. I mean, it is, but it's good.
Seen this episode? This is getting stupider by the minute.
Okay, so I was watching the episode, and I literally had to pause every 2 to 3 minutes to go write another sentence in my notes. Like, it's just every 3 minutes, it was just like another like note I had to make by Adam. The man started off by saying, "Hey, I have a date this weekend." Oh, okay.
Down the hallway. He danced down the hallway when he said it too, and he bought red roses to give to Lenga because it's a date. It's my Eve. He is the most very sweet
Adam is looking for his Eve.
I've ever seen. Why? He is a predator too.
He is.
Like, whoa.
Like the way he just like grabs people's legs, like he just like No, Adam,
Oh,
please stop.
when I say that Adam is my favorite character, I don't mean that he's redeemable in any way, shape, or form. Okay, he's definitely the Dio of this series. All right,
Yeah,
there's nothing good there.
he literally came up and they rolled out the red carpet from him. Oh my god, like he literally
Oh
rolled
my
out the
god.
red carpet.
It's gayer and gayer by the second. They did a tango on 2 skateboards, and Langa just leaned into it. He's like, "We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this." Oh my god!
Oh my
This
god!
show is ridiculous. Look at this. Look at this.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! It's so much. It's so much.
Right, so much. It's hard for me to describe it to people because I need them to watch it, and I knew Adam was gonna be it for me.
So when Adam was like so stunned that Langa jumped over his love hug. So okay. Oh wait a minute. Hold on. Let me rewind just a little bit. Right. So. All right. So the show starts off by just throwing out the laws of physics and the rules of inertia is out the window, and like you have to go in and understand. Okay, inertia doesn't exist in this world. Everything you know about engineering and physics, just pretend it doesn't exist, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So we go into that, and in order to suspend your disbelief, you throw out physics, and then they establish your own physics laws. They're like, okay, if you're standing completely still and you're going in a straight line, and the person's coming towards you, you can, and if you do like a small degree turn, you can stop moving, but create an illusion, like whatever. All right, they use this fake science in order to justify their ridiculous moves, right? But then they break their own fake science. They just completely shatter it, and like, oh, now he can do this move on a curve. And I'm like, no, it doesn't. You make engineering and physics majors like angry at trying to legitimize this nonsense. But whatever. Langa jumped over this obnoxious, impossible move. That has its own physical problems. But whatever. So Langa jumps over it.
It turned him on even more. More. Gayer and gayer by the second. Okay?
But here's the thing. But hold on. Let me finish the one point right. So Langa jumps over him and takes the lead. And he's just so like devastated, like, oh my god, my love hug got defeated. And he's just standing there for at least a minute as he just like trying to take in, and then he just goes crazy. Oh, he's my Eve. Let me catch up to him. So a whole minute has passed. Langa's going full speed down the ramp, and a whole minute has passed of Adam not moving. Adam just like, okay, now I'm really into it, and now I'm going to catch up. So he just gets on his skateboard and starts like drifting down the ramp. He grabs other people's legs to use as anchors. He literally anchors himself to spectators in order to increase his speed. And I'm like, oh my god, what are you doing?
I'm going to go with this was the most interesting episode that was out this week, okay? Of like any of the show.
It's so much. But I love it. I do love it.
You've got storyline still happening here because at the end of the episode, cops break in, and you don't know who called the cops because Adam didn't do it because he was kind of mad about it, and somebody called the cops, and you're not sure. Adam has like the cops in his pocket, so they don't show up. Who called the cops? Like
Another thing, they have their own Fight Club, right? So the whole thing, so this is literally Fight Club because you're not supposed to talk about like the skating outdoors, right? So this whole area is like secluded area that I don't know, is it private property? I don't know, but like apparently no one just walks over to this area. It's like the Hogwarts of the skating ring, and so it was really weird for the cops to show up there because apparently like this massive structure is just like, oh, no one knows it exists. Whatever. Yeah. All right. But you're all right. It is weird that someone had to have called the cops. We don't have any suspects right now because it couldn't have been Langa. It couldn't have been Adam. It could have been Reki, maybe. I don't think so though. But Reki's like the only person that I think maybe.
Reki would be concerned. I mean, but you know, who knows? Who knows? You know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm curious about that going forward. Also, what even is Adam?
There's so many things happening right now. there's so many things happening right now. Adam absolutely does need to be sued for reckless endangerment. Like he has the money. Like he can bankroll this whole like this whole situation. Like
Yeah, no, he's got power. He's got like tons of power. He's ridiculous.
yeah.
And now every time I hear him in other shows, all I think of is Adam. Like it's taken over all of the other
Oh
roles.
my god. Oh my god. To think this is going to be the role that the voice actor is most. No, it's always going to be Dio, but Adam is a good runner for the money.
I read JoJo's. I didn't watch a lot of it. I read the manga, so I don't identify him with him as Dio. He's Adam forever for me now. Okay, he was Toga in Utena, which I did watch a lot of. So, but that makes sense because Toga's kind of a jerk. So I get you.
I mean, honestly, they could not have picked a better voice actor for this. The English voice actor is going to have some big shoes to fill.
Yeah, I agree. Cannot wait. Okay,
right, Titan.
That's interesting. I've really liked this season of Titan. I didn't even put any notes on this one. Why did I not put any notes on this one? We are getting flashbacks as to what actually happened in our time skip, which is fantastic because, it's good to know.
We got to see the relationship between Sasha and another guy. Let's see, what's his image? Even with the latest episode, they still would. I did this image.
Like, look at them dancing. I mean, this was great. This episode starts out with basically they're luring the Marlians as they come to like send some spy boats, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna check on our people," and then all of a sudden they get like shanghaied by Aaron, who picks up their boat and puts it over, and then they do it like 4 or 5 more times, sometimes with Armin.
That is weird, right? But that is weird though. Like once the first boat goes missing, you can write that off as being, hey, there's a boat out there that's lost at sea. Okay, we're not going to do anything about it. Then the second boat goes missing, and you're like, wait a minute, hold on. Then the third one, it's like, okay, now we have to do something. When 3 boats go missing, you cannot just be like, oh, they're just out there. Like, so I do feel that's a weird plot hole, but whatever. They're getting recruits.
But it got them where they needed to be, and I'll be honest, it helped them with their population. Because think about this, and all the people that like died when the Titans broke through the walls and stuff. And I mean, it was a bad time. It was a pretty bad time for this like very narrow group of people that is living in this one area and can't get out. And and that helped out. And you have they brought in. This is setting up like the backstory of why like these people were affiliated with Zeke, and Zeke is playing the incredibly long game on being like a early loyalist. And Zeke, I don't know.
I'm waiting for them to fully explain Zeke, because like how far are they going to throw this back, right? Because Zeke like what we know about him is that even from like being 5 or 6 years old, Zeke sold out his parents. And turned them in. So he's like, was Zeke a traitor even back then? Was he like, because the reason why Zeke sold out his parents was because they're part of like the revolutionary team or whatever. I forgot the term they used for it. But the spy that ended up giving Aaron's dad the Titan power, he technically benefited from that. So it's possible that he was working with that spy the whole time, and he turned his parents in order to get them over to the island. So it's possible he really could have been playing the super, super long game. But it's just like,
I don't know. I need more information, because right now it really stretches credulity that Zeke is flip. And I get they're trying to go back and set this up, and I get that people who've read the manga obviously know what's going on and stuff like that. It's just I need a little more to go on for this, and to make it a little better. But
Zeke killed a lot of people, so it's like for him to be on now, be on the good guys team the whole time. It's like, you did a lot of damage though. Like we can't really turn a blind eye to this. Like Levi literally is like, hey man, the first chance I get, I'm cutting your throat. Like the first chance.
Levi don't play. I mean, Levi's done. Levi don't play. It is what it is. But I don't know. I I'm interested in the show. I feel like we're gonna get some more plot movement, some quick plot movement, pretty quick. And I will point out, as has been pointed out many times online, that our next episode of Attack on Titan drops on Valentine's Day, and it is episode 69. So,
oh my god. So
that's true.
So
100% true.
Ironically, so this episode was an episode that we got to see Sasha's love interest, and I want to see more of that. I want to see, like, did Sasha love him back, or did she just love his cooking?
Sasha's love interest is food, okay, and I relate to that, so I feel you.
But like, he was a good guy. Like he was a good guy, and he cried at her funeral, and like he gave her family, I guess, I don't know, all you can eat free passes. I don't know.
Come to my buffet. I'll treat.
I just love that he gave the invite. He gave the invite, right? He gave the invite, and the father was like, "Yes, I'll shake your hand. It's your treat, right?" He says, "Yeah, of course." Like the father was like he made sure he got that out the way first, like just making sure that I'm not paying for the meal, right? Like,
yeah.
I don't have money. Like that's a very big plot point in my backstory. We don't have money or food.
Well, I mean, that's where she came from. That's why she had a potato. You have a potato at the trying time, okay? I mean,
she's like she's like a Kyoko from Madoka. She's just always hungry and eating.
Yeah, no, I love those characters, okay? Like, I got a lot of relation there, but I'm looking forward to next episode. I'd like to have more backstory, but, maybe we'll get it, maybe we won't. Maybe we'll find out why Eren kind of went rogue and they followed him anyway, and who knows?
Yeah, we have to find that out.
Yeah. Slime got it this week, although I think they rushed it. I think they rushed it real hard.
Yeah, so I'm not completely mad. So for some reason, I'm always willing to give Slime the benefit of the doubt because I've seen how good it can be when the writing is really, really good. And I feel like Slime has always prioritized having having the pace of the show as consistent as possible. Like I feel like the relationship between what's her name?
Mulan and Yom.
Yeah, Mulan and Yom. I feel like their relationship got really rushed, but I feel like there probably is more to it. I don't feel like it literally happened over the course of 2 days. But I feel like in order to have the anime keep its pace and not have like 2 or 3 episodes devoted just to them, they made it like, oh, this is just going to be like, oh, they're in love, they're devoted to each other now. They're all like, she's turning sides, and it's like it feels like so shallow when you watch it transpire so fast. But I feel like there's probably more context to it in the manga. And so I'm willing to give the anime the benefit of the doubt that they're just trying to like rush it to like.
These are light novels, aren't they?
Oh yeah.
Slime a light novel? Yeah.
Yeah, light novel manga. So I feel like the previous adaptation probably did it better, but I haven't actually read it myself.
Yeah, no, I there's shenanigans going on here from like 2 different angles. I definitely think those like rando people that broke into town seem really annoying, and I feel like I might get more invested in their characters, but they're just kind of jerks, and they just kind of like know that they're jerks.
Yeah, and then the girl among them went through the classic like, I'm going to pretend that I was assaulted trope in order to get someone hated in the village, and then all the villagers like, nah, but like we know this guy, like
yeah, like
you don't really
this
like
is the
this
guy
guy
that we know that we
the
can
whole
have
time. So it's like I love how his friend proved his innocence. He was like, we all know that literally Shion is the only person this man is after. Like everybody in the whole village knows this, and they're all like, yeah, we totally do. It went from being such a serious like oh my god, sexual assault in the middle of town moment to like yeah, that guy is totally like but like so I am curious about what's going to happen with them, and we also got to see. So it seems like the church put up a barrier at the exact same time. I don't know, like so they put up a barrier. No, not them. Milan put up a barrier in order to keep everybody communication inside.
She was instructed to by the guy, and she's trying to, because the guy's basically like, I'm gonna kill your boyfriend unless you do this, and she's like, I don't want you to kill my boyfriend, and so she's putting it up as fast as possible. But
And
he's
then it just
talking to
happened
her
at the
like
same
through his
time
head.
as the other group. So that might have just been a coincidence. I don't know.
Oh, also, the freaking bad guy in this is definitely the Matador. It's definitely Adam's voice again, and I was like,
Oh,
"Yeah,
you're.
I'm pretty sure
Oh
it
man,
is."
I
I
didn't
was
even
like,
notice. Yeah,
because
like
that's what he's gonna be forever, doing a tango on a skateboard.
oh
I
my
can't.
god. So yeah, like he
Yeah.
always plays like the ominous villain that you just don't want to be in the same room with. Like that's his role all the time.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah. No. I don't know. I look forward to seeing what's going on with this. It was. I'm gonna be real. A little bit slow. Building up to this because we're just like doing negotiations and stuff. But yeah. Now there's danger. There's actual danger and conflict. So yay. That's exciting.
yeah, so we're probably gonna see all the fruits of those like business arrangements because like it seems like it's gonna be like a world war. Like it seems like it's gonna be all of Rimuru like crew and all their allies versus the church and the demon faction. Because it seems like so it seems Milan is attacking the beast people as well, which I don't really know why she would do that, and I don't know where Rimuru is right now. So there's still a few questions unanswered.
I thought Rimuru was going to negotiate with the douchebag town. Like I thought he was on his way to the douchebag town.
Oh, I think so. I think so. I think that's where he's at. So I guess I don't know why they haven't run into him on the path. So it's I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know, but we'll find out. We'll find out next Tuesday. So
yeah, yeah.
Neverland. Ugh, love Neverland. Okay, so
Where's
Neverland
my
was
notes
very
Neverland?
confusing this week. I'll give. This is not a spoiler. It's just information, I guess. Neverland decided at some point, and there's no information because the internet is abuzz with what the hell is going on, right? Neverland skipped like 60 chapters of the manga.
60? Wow,
60.
that's a lot.
It's like a humongous chunk where they go to a specific area and they do specific things and there's new characters introduced, and it's a really big section of this manga that they've skipped. And so I don't know if they've put it in a different timeline, if they're coming back to it, if they're just going to completely cut that out to like shorten the time period, because Neverland's manga is done. This isn't, like if they cut that entire section out, it's possible that they're going to push this into like maybe not like maybe I don't know that they could do it in 26, like for 2 seasons. But they could probably condense the whole thing down pretty small, into this season, or maybe
they might just be trying to have one more season beyond this and be done with it.
It could be, and that could be a thing. I'm not really sure, but the big news in Neverland from this week is Norman is not dead. And I think everybody kind of suspected that because we didn't see a kill shot. We've seen a kill shot of a lot of people who are dead in this show. And they're dead. Like, Sister Crone is dead. The little girl with the bunny, Connie, maybe at the beginning.
Yeah, Connie. Connie was in the jar.
Dead. Yeah. They're dead, man. You didn't see Norman, and so you're going to find out.
It's like a soap opera. If you don't see a body, then they're going to come back 3 seasons later.
Now that we've reintroduced Norman, though, you are going to get to see new characters because of what Norman was doing. If they follow the manga like it was, so I'm looking forward to it. I don't understand why they brought those little children with them on this excursion because they're clearly not good at things.
Man, it's like they're so loud all the time. Like
they are.
It's like there's like at a certain point, Emma needs to sit these kids down and be like, "Hey, like you guys need to like shape up. Like this is life or death, and you guys are really loud in the forest right now." So it's like I don't know why they're still allowed to be this way. And I haven't read the manga. And even I was thinking I was not expecting because I always had a feeling Norman wasn't dead, but I wasn't expecting to see him so soon.
That the reveal of Norman happens way later in the manga, like way later, like several years time skip later. I mean, like it's pretty significant. At this point, I think we're only like 1 year into the time skip in the part we're at right now. But yeah.
Oh, so even this scene right here didn't necessarily happen right then and there. Like this, Norman isn't supposed to be revealed till later.
Yeah, no, even I'm pretty sure in the manga you've got like another like 2 time skipped sections before you get to Norman. And so
Oh, yeah,
that
I guess they're just
they may,
diversion.
possible they're just rushing the crap out of it. And that could be. But
Ah,
I don't know.
that's a
If
little
you see it
strange because
from
Neverland's pretty popular, so I would imagine that they wouldn't want. I would imagine they would want to milk it. Like
well, the
if a
only
show is
thing that I
good,
was
then you
thinking
want to have
of,
more seasons.
having read the whole thing, the only thing that I was thinking of is the section that they skipped could possibly be a movie. They could condense. I mean, it's still a lot of chapters and still a lot of stuff,
Oh,
but you could condense it down to something like a movie. And I feel like that's maybe an option for them too.
I
But
mean, so
then
in a
you bring
world that isn't dominated by COVID, that is definitely an option. But I guess if they do a movie, we will be hopefully beyond that. But then again, My Hero movies, not My Hero, was it? Demon Slayer movie still did massive amounts of sales.
I
So
was gonna say the most successful movie in Japan's history. Like, yeah.
yeah. So I mean, that could be the reason. That would make
I mean,
sense.
that's my theory that it could be. But you've got a problem in that you've got characters that are referenced later in the series, and they could just cut them out. It's entirely possible that they just don't reference them. You know what I mean? But there's like
Yeah.
characters that are equivalently main characters that are in the section that we've cut. So I don't know. I haven't watched the one from today yet. That comes out today, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't seen it either. So
Yeah. So
maybe we'll find out
see.
more.
The big
And
reveal.
there's a boy. There's our boy.
So I
right.
gotta say, I don't hate ReZero anymore as much. I have liked this whole backstory section. I thought it was pretty interesting. I had some problems with this episode, but we're about to get back to Subaru again, and I don't like him. I just don't.
Yeah.
I guess I don't hate what's her face as much as I did.
Amelia. So Amelia is so weird now because it's like she's still technically the same person, but now that she has a memory, her personality is slightly different. She's more energetic and go ho, and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do it with a smile on my face, and no one's gonna stop me. And it's like it just feels like a weird shift in her I'm sure the Amelia fans are perfectly fine with it, but for someone that didn't like her to begin with, it's like, oh, okay, now she's not even the same person anymore, and I still don't like her.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get you. I didn't like her before. I don't like her. I don't like cryy, whiny characters. I'm gonna be honest, and that was a big night killing their point for me. But
now she's not crying anymore. But now she's just she's too ginky. Is that? I mean, I don't know. It's weird.
I don't know. No, she was a child popsicle. It's interesting to know that she kind of like screwed over this whole town, and she feels, I'll be honest, very unapologetic about it at the end. She's definitely like, yeah, I did this. I've come to terms with it, even though I just found out I did it like a second ago.
And that's the thing. Like she's just too not happy. Just her emotion, the way she handles things is just so weird. It's hard to explain. Like and I don't this whole plot is a little weird too. Because I don't know. So the reason why she got frozen in ice is because she got put into kind of like a corner with Pandora, and Pandora pretty much was like, yeah, you need to open up this door, and the promise you made in order to keep it shut is no longer valid because your mother is dead. And so based on what we've seen of Pandora's powers at this point, it's weird that she allowed this to happen because she literally rewrote reality and made Juice's wounds disappear, and she made the other archbishop just disappear. The fact that she couldn't just stop Amelia, this little kid that she's clearly stronger than.
I feel like they explained that decently okay. Is Pandora's like, well, yeah, she can't make her open the door because somehow the key is within Amelia, and she's like, I'm gonna wait because from what we know, Pandora's functionally immortal. So I'm just gonna wait until you cool off a bit, and then we're gonna try this again and see if I can get this door because, yeah, she can't force her to open it because it's not a physical key, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's some internal thing.
So I guess maybe Pandora could have stopped Amelia from freezing herself, but she just wanted to just try again later, I suppose. So I guess that does make a little sense.
Brother White Mage said, I like the werewolf maid, and I agree. The one with the pointy teeth.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
I've
the
only met that character
beast
like
maid.
once, and I'm already in love. So
Yeah, oh
yes, I'm
yeah.
in.
She's nice. She has shark teeth.
Yeah, I like shark teeth. I'm into shark teeth. I could be into that. I'm down.
Yeah.
Uh,
This episode we
so
also learned more about Juice. And so
yeah,
everything about Juice now makes perfect sense. At least to like
I think
for
that they. You want to talk about something that was rushed and like okay. I liked the whole thing of I'm going to trick you into killing your girlfriend here. Like, okay, yeah, that's going to be really traumatic. But then, like, his creepy laughter at the end of that seemed real sudden. Real sudden.
I think it's partially due to, I think Pandora might have had a role to play in that, but it's also due to the sloth factor that he gave himself. Like Juice was perfectly fine, but in the last episode he put that little thing into him and gave himself the unseen hands. And so I think
Yeah,
that
like,
the side effect of that is just like
cigarette.
going crazy.
Isn't
So I
that the
think
thing
I think the
cigarette?
combination of all those things is what caused Juice to go crazy, and then it now makes sense to the person he became, because the Juice we know always talks about love and how his love for Sakura is like unwavering, and that everything he does is for love. And so if his mind was warped because he actually killed the person he loved, then I can kind of see that being pieced
I don't know. It
together.
felt real weird and sudden, but I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it
Yeah.
definitely was a thing that was written in after the fact. So it doesn't feel like completely natural, but I understand it.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Dr. Stone.
Doctor
Cool.
Stone.
Sorry, we got notes. I got physical notes. So
You have physical.
I just
Why do you
put
have
out our
physical
spread.
notes?
I
I
put
see.
out.
I see. I see.
I can't.
All right.
I have two monitors, and I have to watch you on one and the slideshow
That
on
makes
one of them.
sense.
And then I've got like my phone showing me the chat, and I only have so many ways to look at stuff right now. Okay.
See, I have our notes document split screen on one. Then I have our recording software on the second one. Then my second monitor is the chat. So it's like I hear you.
I would split screen with the notes document, but I'd be scrolling constantly on the other window if I had to do that.
Yeah.
So I just print out the notes document, and it works out pretty well.
I should probably do that too. All right, so now we're on Dr. Stone.
Dr. Stone, they've now decided that they're going to just rush in as soon as possible to Tsukasa's place because he's got Chrome. So they've built a steam engine. Okay.
Really fast.
Really,
they
really
built a steam engine, and I don't know, has it like they don't really tell us how long it's been. Like it seems like this is a day affair, you know, like it feels like they start in the morning and finish their steam engine by night, and I'm like,
yeah,
but that's like they're really playing playing loose with the science here, because like there's no way you can get that done in a day, even with a whole village supporting you. But whatever.
Yeah.
But it seems the automobile is just going to carry the tools while everyone else walks. I don't know. There's no way they can transport the whole village in that. I don't know how it's even so strong.
Tracks. Like you're going through rough terrain, okay? Like you need better than these bamboo wheels to go through this rough terrain. I don't know.
Yeah.
I got problems with this whole show, but you knew that going in, okay? You knew that going in, but.
Yeah, so they were trying to build an automobile in order to carry all their supplies while everyone else walks to the village, because they got to save Chrome now. And I love how I love
Chrome
how
is like just like thumbing his nose at Tsukasa as though he's not gonna get killed immediately.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, I'm a science user, like respect me, like, and I'm like, Chrome, shut up, like you are in enemy territory, like.
Tsukasa has already tried to kill Senku. Literally, he like basically killed Senku in this show. He didn't even wait. He was playing an episode.
I love how they were like, oh yeah, as long as Chrome doesn't open his mouth, he'll be fine. And Kohaku was like, as long as Chrome doesn't open his mouth? You're talking about Chrome? You're talking about Chrome? And they're like, you said it twice.
True.
Like, she wasn't even like concerned. She was like, you're talking about Chrome? So they're building the train, I guess.
Yeah. The show's a little bit ridiculous.
So there's a few weird things. Like, is the hearing Archer guy an adult? Because like they were talking about how he used to work at a solar, like,
yeah.
Yo, so it's like,
but then Tsukasa was
is
like,
he
I don't want any
16-year
girls,
old?
I hate adults. And yeah, and
I don't think a 16-year old can get a job working on a solar sub. Like, I don't think
yeah,
that's possible.
I
But
don't
I
think
think
so
that's going
either.
to hand wave that.
Yep. Welcome to Dr.
And
Stone, where they handle a lot of stuff. I don't know if you've watched the
yeah,
show season and a half, Erik, but I mean,
yeah,
the hand wave
yeah,
the show.
yeah.
I don't know.
Another thing in my notes. Oh, you can go. You can go.
I was gonna say, this was just kind of an okay episode, I guess. I like that Chrome doesn't fear death, and it doesn't make sense that they took so long to do this, and he's not dead. But whatever.
Yeah, like, I mean, but it is respectable. Like, he was like, yeah, just go ahead and drop me, because they were trying to threaten him and trying to get him to come over to the other side, and they were like, yeah, we can give you like rocks and stuff, and you can make your fire and whatever you want. We just don't want you making like guns and weapons. And Chrome was like, nah, just go ahead and drop me. But they were just bluffing. But it's like, it almost doesn't make sense for them to bluff in that situation, because like Tsukasa literally clotheslined Senku to death. Like, he literally like broke the man's neck. And the only reason he's alive is because they have like, I don't know, the wooden, the rock
He
gives you
left
immortality. I don't know.
and then he got healed by that was a crappy piece of the story. All right, you want to talk about some bad writing? That was some bad writing right there. Oh man.
Yeah. Ugh. So it's like.
Oh, hey, Logosh Gaming makes a good point. What happened to people on subs underwater when everybody turned to stone? They sank. The answer is they sank. Okay, like not everybody's coming back. All right.
I mean, the same thing with people I mean, that's even worse than the people like on airplanes. So if you're on an airplane, you literally just fell out the sky. Like, dang. It's kind of like it's kind of like the Avengers theory thing. Because they were like when the Avengers got snapped out and they came back, and they were like, what about the people that like got snapped while they're on like moving vehicles? Like, did they just come back in the middle of the street or like 1,000 feet in the air?
Yeah. Well, yeah, like in the air. That would be weird. But no. There is something that is coming later in the series that I know from the manga that actually hand waves away some stuff in Dr. Stone. And I think it's pretty crap, honestly, but it's a magical storytelling device. So you know what I mean? It's something that only exists in this world. So I don't know. We'll get there. I don't want to spoil that, but yeah, there's some more crappy hand wavy crap coming your way. Okay. It's on the way. Just know it's on the way.
Yeah. I'm not gonna get too mad at the hand wavy plot, but I don't know. I still enjoy Dr. Stone.
Yeah.
But our special show or bonus show of the week was My Little Monster.
So
there's a lot we can talk about this one.
There is. So My Little Monster is about this guy, and I'm gonna be honest with you. He definitely presents in the show like he might be like just on the spectrum. That's how he comes across to me. In a lot of
he
ways.
Really does.
It's like he doesn't understand social cues, and in Japan social cues are really complicated too. So I mean, I feel kind of bad for him in that respect, because this is like the social cue society. So you know, you've got like a lot of things you're expected to do. He works, or he lives in like a this place is like a batting cage and like a almost casino like thing, like pachinko parlor in the bottom or something. And and he's got a classmate who brings him his schoolwork. That is a common thing, by the way. I noticed that in your notes. Classmates bringing their people like their work. I've seen that in a bunch of anime. And he decides to attach to her basically because she's just sort of kind of weirdly standoffishly kind to him. And so he decides that he's in love with her, and then expresses it in really very strange ways. And I feel like this show could completely be solved in like an episode or two if she just was blunt and straightforward with him and taught him things he didn't know when they happened instead of freaking out. And then maybe we wouldn't have a show anymore.
She doesn't even like freak out quite enough. Like, she freaks out when things that are like really uncomfortable and embarrassing to her, but like things that should be like, so their second encounter, right after she brings him his schoolwork, right? Mm-hmm. She's just casually walking home, and he just comes out of a back alley and grabs her and says, "If you move, I want to rape you." And I'm like,
"Yep,
whoa,
come here, I'm gonna rape you." It's like that. That's
whoa. Like,
whoa, yeah,
like,
like
like,
whoa.
how insane do you have to be in order to have that to be like the thing you fall back on? Like, don't move, I'm gonna hit you. Don't move, I'm gonna shoot. No,
Yeah, and that's the
don't
thing.
move,
His
I'm gonna
only,
break you.
I think that it's established like his only experience with people are like with like bad people, like gangster types and stuff, and that's probably where he learned that phrasing. You know what I mean, and things like that. But
But it's
yeah, like
when
they
did that
don't even set
happen?
him up other than that scene. They don't set him up as a bad guy. They set him up as someone who just functionally doesn't know how to act in situations. And I feel like
Yeah,
if she, he starts taking his clothes off in class, if she's just like, you need to stop, put that back on, this is a very bad thing, here's why, and I need to why did you start doing this? Why did I say it was gym class and it was co-ed and then you started doing this? Oh, well, I thought this and this, and you know what I mean? I feel like this
yeah,
guy could just benefit from clearer communication from people, like to just learn what the social norm would be, So
yeah.
I don't
It does feel like he actually has like maybe some spectrum tendencies, but they never address it. They never like
know.
call him out
They
on it.
don't.
They just acknowledge it as being like, oh, that's just him. Um,
Yeah.
and
And it
so
feels a little bit erratic too, because sometimes he picks up on nuance really, really well. Like when she's talking bad about his friends, and then it turns out she's right, but he gets mad at her for talking bad about his friends, but then he internalizes her information, and it's like that was really nuanced and subtle, and I'm surprised. Like it was surprising he picked up on that in this show when
yeah,
it's clear they're making it out to be that he doesn't pick up on social cues.
but he's also
So
like a genius. Like that's the weird thing. He's an absolute idiot, but he's also a genius because like he doesn't study. He hasn't been in school for 3 years, and he literally just like stays home or does whatever he wants. But he gets perfect scores on everything.
yeah, he does. He does.
And
And yeah,
Main
it's
Girl is
he
like
picks up
literally
different
studying every second of the day. Like that's her whole life. So it's like
different information. It's easy for him to pick up the information, and it frustrates her. But I just feel like the show could be the trouble in the show could be solved by people just being straightforward with him about what's expected of him and what he should do and what he should do in like normal society. But that's the
yeah,
kind of way I
like
took it.
yeah. The main girl, like I think
I do
she's
remember
more.
the
Oh, I
first
said I
time I
think the main
watched
girl
the show.
was on like just saying like how she feels and not actually addressing like the issues that he has. Like she really, the whole thing
Right.
is about the anime. She's like, oh, do I love him or do I not love him? And she never. You're right. She never stops and asks like, is something legitimately wrong with him?
Well, not even that. Like, well, he did this. Why did he do this? Let me talk to him about why this was the wrong thing, kind of thing. Like, don't beat the crap out of this guy. Also, I had a really big problem with this show that I didn't notice the first time. Their teacher, who's kind of afraid of Haru, she's like, oh, here, let me give you my favorite book, and gives him a romance novel.
Yeah, and it's like erotica too. It's like
She's a teacher, and she gives him a romance novel for no discernible reason at all. Like,
so.
what?
I don't. I think that's just happened to be what she was reading at the time, and she was like so scared she just gave him anything. But it's like it is weird. It is weird that that's what she happened to have on her at the moment, and she was reading.
The teacher is not hot, Lagash Gaming. It's just like a normal teacher, okay? Like she's not particular.
Yeah, it's
She
not
was
that
just
true.
afraid of him, but it was really that seems inappropriate. That seems like the thing that you get written up to HR about. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like that's
yeah. Like everything about this show is just so worse. Like so, the show came out in I think 2012, and at the time I knew like there was lots of problems. I mean, I still enjoyed the show, but I knew there was like problematic parts of it.
It got to like the halfway point of the season, and I got really frustrated with it because it felt like we were spinning our wheels, and every episode felt really arbitrary. Like, what are we moving forward? Are we moving backwards? I just think it was uneven as a show when I first watched it.
Yeah,
but
I mean, their relationship is off and on. Like they're not dating in the beginning, but then they immediately start dating after 2 episodes. Then they break up, but then they're like off and on, like again, and it's like so it's a cycle. But I was specifically talking about like
there's a rooster, and that's what you need to know about the show is that there's a rooster.
Yeah,
it's great.
But yeah, like this show is especially troubling to watch in 2021 because even after that scene with the
well, he takes all of his clothes off in the school after that scene. Okay,
yeah,
like he literally disrobes, and there's like wiener full out there. It is what it is. So
yeah,
whatever. Like not in the show. Like there's no nudity in the show, but it's like he drops trowel and you can see his butt, and All right,
yeah.
let's go ahead and pick our next spin the wheel.
All right,
Are
we're
you
gonna
ready?
spin the wheel. We're gonna watch something new. Is it gonna be my list or your list?
We'll find out. I'm spinning the wheel. All right. 19. 13,
What's 19?
Oh, you're going to love this one. This is an
Oh
OVA.
boy.
You got to watch the whole thing, okay?
So it's OVA as in like one
It's
full like 45 minutes or an hour?
Yeah, it's not long. It might not even be an hour long.
Okay.
I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna give you the choice, but you're gonna like it a lot better if you watch the dub. Okay.
Okay, yeah, I watched it up.
It's colorful. And you got to make sure you colorful the OVA, not colorful the series, because there was a series that came out later that has the same title, and I'll send you the link. Okay. It's delightful. It's so good. We showed it in Anime Club at the big screen in the Student Center Theater at least twice when I was either president or soon after I was president, because it's freaking hilarious. All right. I don't like anime comedy, and I love colorful. And you have to watch the dub, because the dub is one of the best dubs I've ever seen. And they localized it, so it's filthy.
Best dubs as in best dubs being good, or best dubs being like ghost stories bad or bad that it's
no. I mean good. I mean, this is They localized very well, but it's filthy. I mean, like, expect potty humor. That's what you're in for. So it's on Verve. Yeah, so you can watch it and we'll have access to it. I can't wait. It is
on Verve? Let's see.
That's what I looked it up and it was on Verve. Hang on.
I checked Crunchyroll, so it's probably on one of the services that Verve
Yeah, it's High Dive. It's on the High Dive channel.
Oh, I see. That makes sense. All right, so I watch it. I watch it in dub.
So they've split it out into 6-minute episodes, but for some reason, I don't know why. You want to watch all of them because it's 6-minute episodes. So not really sure why, but okay, whatever.
Wait a minute. This is so. I think that what I Googled might be different than what I'm seeing here.
That's what I'm saying. There's a series, and then there's like an OVA. Hang on. Let me. Don't watch the movie. I'll send you the link. I can send you.
Okay.
It's on Verve. It's got like a girl with a cutout on it.
Yeah, it's kind of weird looking. It is kind of weird looking.
You're gonna love it.
All right.
It's what year is this from? It's old. It's old. I mean, like, it's not new. It's colorful anime OVA. Yeah, you do not want the movie from 2011. You want
Okay. All right. So I'll watch it. And I'll give you my opinions on it. I'm gonna be honest. Just looking at the art style, I'm a little cautious about this.
Oh man, you're gonna love it. It's so funny. Okay, I don't like, and this is not gonna hold up. I haven't watched this in like 15 years. Okay, so this is probably not gonna hold up for me, but I don't care. We're gonna watch it, and if it's terrible, it's gonna be terrible, and we're gonna enjoy it together. But the dub's gonna be delightful, and I can't wait. So yeah.
Okay. All right. So next week, are we keeping this time, or are we moving back to the mornings? What are we doing?
7 o'clock next week, next Thursday, 7 o'clock Eastern for people in the chat. Hi, Brightest Blue. If you just joined us, sorry, we're kind of on the tail end of the stream here, but we will be back. This will be available on VOD, and then it'll also be up on our YouTube channel in a couple of days. If you want to follow back with us and start back, check out youtube.com/MomoConTV. Then you'll have the whole list of the Anime Book Club stuff.